Hey guys. So yeah, sorry this one's as late as it is. Um, but just getting into the episode itself. As I had stated previously from last week, the fight between Elsie and Shiki basically concludes in the fight where Shiki and Elsie concludes in this fight with the reveal that Elsie this entire time again was just testing him, which eventually leads to the reveal of the Skull Fairy being the ship that Ziggy, Shiki's grandfather, had used to conquer the Sakura Cosmos. And before I get into what I think about the reveal itself, in Prince term of the Skull Fairy being the ship known as the Eden Zero, one thing I hadn't really appreciated before about this fight and the flashback of Shiki's training with Ziggy is the lesson that Prince Ziggy had tried to teach Shiki in the past that he really only learned now after facing Elsie's duplicate, which is that for as powerful as he is, there will always be someone stronger. And let's just say what Shiki experienced here in this fight is more or less just a prelude to him learning that lesson the hard way. In fact, despite it only being a duplicate of her, I'm I'm not joking when I say that at best, what Shiki experienced in this fight was only a fraction of what Elsie is actually capable of. Like, I mean, the duplicate I'm not gonna lie and say I'm not gonna sit here and say that the duplicate was kind of right about being stronger than Ziggy. If anything, the duplicate might have over exaggerated, and Elsie is pretty much is at best just pretty much on Ziggy's level. But at the same time, Elsie does have bragging rights as well. Like I'm not joking when I say that Upper Ziggy is that Upper Elsie is pretty much as pretty much powerful as she claims. But at the same time, well for anyone thinking because she's gonna be as like she's gonna be like Urza overpowered. It isn't as overpowered as that either. Like it is pretty much on the pretty much level of the dynamics that pretty much on the level of the dynamics that pretty much Shiki that Mashima has set up with this series, I guess you could say. Of course, even bigger than all of that though of getting the reveal of the Eden Zero and that it was Ziggy's ship is that we learned that Ziggy himself was never able to reach Mother. So it immediately sets up just how much of a task that pretty much the whole journey of finding Mother really is going to be. In fact, on top of the anime also giving us an early semi introduction to four key characters, I also think it does better in building up Ziggy's legacy as Elsie is explained in the way Elsie explains it to Shiki. Like it just feels I think the anime just did a better job at from showing just how impactful from Ziggy's whole whole journey and the existence was to people, like how he influenced the people around him. Now, with the reveal, Elsie also gives Shiki a very strange clue, which is that when to pretty much those who find Mother, that they will be born again. And even to this day, I still don't know what that means, but I've got a few guesses, frankly, and one thing that and just one that I have based on everything that just based on all the small bits of information we have so far, but I have in the manga right now, is that everything begins and ends with pretty much Mother. Like everything that this world is built around, it begins and ends with her. Like that's the best I could come up with. Now whether it's right or not, I don't know. Uh, Now, with that said, though, let's get to the reveal of the Eden Zero itself. And I'm probably gonna piss off. I'm probably gonna piss off. Probably gonna piss off at least a couple of regulars who pretty much frequent my Eden Zero videos. But if I'm being honest, I'm frankly a little more mixed on this one because on one hand, I think the anime did a bit of a better job at the overall build up, to the pretty much reveal itself of the Eden Zero's true form, as it gives it this kind of grand epic scale reveal befitting of the space epic tone that the series has. Where it falters more for me is in the reveal itself and just how the Eden Zero is visualized in appearance. And yeah, I'm sorry, but to me, the reveal of the Eden Zero in the anime is honestly kind of underwhelming compared to the manga. Like the manga in itself gave the Eden Zero again this huge bombastic reveal that and just the pretty much scale of the reveal of the Eden Zero itself in the manga, it came across as this just full on intimidating just force that made it appear like just this single ship could pretty much destroy an entire fleet. Like that's the kind of feeling I basically got from the appearance in the manga that this was just a giant ass ship that could ram through entire fleets to just destroy anything in its path. That's the kind of feeling I got from the manga. The anime, however, it not only felt underwhelming, but I'm sorry, the anime's version of the reveal, the Eden Zero looked like a damn toy spaceship. I'm sorry, but that's where I'm at with it. Like that's the kind of feeling I got. Again, I'm probably gonna piss a couple people off just from saying this, but I have to be honest about it. I guess I suppose if I were to offer any positivity about the reveal itself is that after the initial moment of seeing the front of the ship, like the figurehead, I did start to feel a small amount of epic size and scope, like the further the camera panned across the ship. But even that was very brief, and it didn't last as long as it could. Like I don't know, there was just something that was just off in general when it came to the reveal of the Eden Zero for me. It didn't match as much of the epic skill as I thought it could. And since I'm on the subject of the reveal of the Eden Zero's true form, that in itself also comes hand in hand with the introduction of Witch, one of the four confidants, aka the four shining stars of the Demon King that were with Ziggy in his search for Mother, which also now sets up a new mission in order to already just with the reveal of there being four of these shining stars, it kind of sets up a new mission to find the other three star shines. And yeah, the thing is, looking back on Witch's reveal, on Witch's introduction, she really was a package deal that came with the ship, because Witch was honestly the easy one in order to convince to join Shiki. But as far as the others are concerned, oh boy, that's an adventure in itself. Like frankly, from here, the search to find the other three star shines in itself is where the series really starts to take a much more dramatic shift in tone. Like from here on is the point where the story dips in much more emotionally heavy storytelling, and that's just me putting it lightly. That there are genuine times where the series will make you angry, make you rage, and just overall, you're just gonna get a lot more emotional. You're just gonna get a lot more emotional, and just maybe even just as emotional as I felt, and am going to feel revisiting this. The other thing is, even before getting Witch's introduction, though, we kind of explore the nature of the ether bath Rebecca is soaking in, and the discovery of it being an ether bath. And the first thing to mention there is that yeah, this has already set the stage for an even bigger reveal than just like obviously Rebecca now is going to get an ether gear, but it sets the stage for something even bigger than her just gaining your run of the mill ether gear. Like the thing she gains is pretty fucking powerful. Um, but even more than that, looking back on this moment specifically I think where I started to kind of subconsciously realize that even though the show will basically have fan service like Fairy Tail, it's used in a lot of the fan service in Eden Zero is used in much smarter ways, and it actually kind of incorporates itself into pretty much the story and narrative in a lot of ways. Um, like it isn't as overly exposed as some other times. With that said, we need to talk about the introduction to three certain characters: Justice, Victory, and Creed. Which, first off, there weren't even translations provided in the version of the episode I watched, but basically their introduction with their introduction we based in the episode we basically get our first major bit of world building. More specifically, their introduction establishes the existence of the Interstellar Union Army, the military peacekeeping arm of this world's government and all that shit. And taking out the obvious factor of Justice looking like Jalal, if one of your other first questions or thoughts is that for an army supposed to keep the peace, that they sure do look like nothing more than a bunch of jackbooted thugs. Well, and if there's any thought in your mind about that specific thing, then you'd be right. And frankly, as the series moves forward, you'll find Justice and many of the other parts of this organization. You'll find Justice and many of the others part of this organization are like that, because who are part of this organization end up causing more problems than they solve. But Justice, even then, Justice is still the most infuriating and frustrating of them all. And it's hard to describe Justice's character without giving away anything too spoilery. But the only way I can describe him to those coming into the anime for the first time is the guy has a pure lack of perception and prioritization. Like, it will actually astound and dumbfound you. And dumbfound you just from how single-mindedly this man is. Like Mashima, Mashima kind of went above and beyond when it came to applying like pretty much irony. Like the word irony is the first that pretty much comes when it comes to Justice as a character. Like, for someone named Justice, let's just say you'll find more and more he doesn't exactly live up to the name. And he really applied and Mashima really applied the ironic jugular, so to speak. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll, and be sure to hit the bell for notifications and share it and share this video around. Death Knight of Anime, signing off. Later, guys.